Hey there guys, welcome back to Dexter Ranch. Hope everybody's having a great summer. Hope you're managing to stay cool. It's probably one of the hottest days of the year here in southeast Kansas today. We've been right around 110 degrees. A wasp just hit me in the back of the head. We've been right around 110 degrees for the past few days, and that makes it difficult when you're doing things like going to get hay. But while I was doing that today, I started thinking about, my mindset and the things that I'm doing when it comes to hay and supplements currently, and it's different than the way that I used to do it, and my mindset's different when it comes to it. Probably even different from some of the things that I've recommended in previous videos. So I thought I should get on here and make an updated video and give you guys those thoughts and considerations when it comes to hay and supplements for your winter feeding programs, so that you can see what I'm doing, and if you like it, take it. If you don't, throw it away. But that's what we're going to be talking about today, so let's get into it. First thing that I'm changing is I'm not going to be using these anymore. And if you don't know what these are protein tubs, and they're stacked up there. I've got more of them laying out in the field. I've got them everywhere. At this point, I'm just using them for water tubs or things to move dirt in, whatever. I just keep them around because they're handy to have around. But I'm not going to be using these in my feeding program anymore. And the reason for that is it's a three-part reason. Two of them are going to apply to everybody. The last one is only to people that are trying to do like me and do a strict grass-fed only program. So the first one is that, like everything else in the world, these things have gotten so expensive that they don't make any sense. When I first started buying these things 3 or 4 years ago, they were like $30. Okay, last year they were $80 to $85 for the cheap ones. And guys, these things last like 4 days. And I've downsized my herd quite a bit. There's probably 15 animals here total, and that includes calves and steers and all that. Okay, I only have 4 cows in my bull right now. As far as, well, I got 2 heifers that are pregnant now, so they'll be cows soon. So we'll call it 6 cows and a bull, and then I've got some steers and some calves running around. So I don't have a ton of animals, and these things last for 4 days. So you're spending $80 or $85 every 4 days. That's just crazy. There's way better options out there for you. And if you're sold on that, if you're sold on these things, and I know that there's better ones out there, and I've bought those too. I've bought those a lot. There's, Vitalix and all these things that are a lot harder molasses, and they last for a lot longer, but they're $150 or $160 a tub, and you get a week and a half out of them. Okay, so it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. You're paying a ton of money and you're not getting much out of it. And in my personal opinion, number 2, they don't do what they need to do for the cattle anyways. The third reason why I'm not going to be using these protein tubs anymore is because, like I said, this is a grass-fed farm. And after researching, which I should have done this sooner, but after researching, those have grain in them. The protein content that's in there is a form of grain. So if you're feeding those and you're telling people that you're grass-fed only, then you're not. Those have grain in them. So that's number 1. And like I said, we'll come back to that. And I'll give you a challenge. If you're sold on those protein tubs, I'll give you a challenge for this winter to prove to you that they're not the right choice. The second thing that I'm going to be changing, I'm going to come out here to the barn to talk about it, but it's more not a product change per se. Well, it is, because I'm replacing those with this product, but what I want to talk to you about is a mindset change. And with the hay prices the way that they are right now, hay prices are nuts. There's people out there selling round bales of prairie hay and fescue hay. You know, your 7 to 10 or 11% hays. They're selling these round bales for $200, $225 a bale. And I don't sell hay. I don't grow hay. So I'm not going to sit here and talk a bunch of crap on the people that have raised their prices, because everybody's raised their prices across the board. There's a lot of people out there selling hay for $100 a bale, $125 a bale. I don't know if that's justified or not. I know it's very difficult to keep up with financially, especially on a small farm, but I can't speak on whether or not those people are doing something immoral or not. What I can do with pretty good confidence is I can say that the people that are going $200, $225 a bale, they're doing a money grab. And those people will end up paying in the end. Because if you're going to force somebody into a situation where they have to pay $200 or $225 for a bale of hay, then do you really think that person's ever going to come back to you unless they have to again? They're not. You guys aren't friends. You didn't do anything right with them. You've ruined a relationship. So those people end up paying for that down the road. Don't worry about those people. Now, even with the hay being at $100 or $125 a bale, what that does, and this applies for alfalfa as well, because everything's gone up, but what that does is it forces you to start looking for cheaper hay, and that's what I want to advise against. That's the mindset that I want to recommend, that you don't fall into that trap to where you start looking for cheaper products or cheaper hay. And the reason is that you get what you pay for. I had a bad situation happen. I'm going to turn the camera around here and kind of show you guys what I ended up with. I've got a few different piles of alfalfa hay in here. Really bad, pretty bad, really good. Okay? This was the guy that I found, and he was a couple dollars cheaper than everybody else. If we come and look at this, does that look like alfalfa to you? No. Let's just inspect it. And you'll say, well, Danny, why did you take it? Well, because I had drove about 75 miles with a trailer, right? And spent a bunch of time already discussing this with this guy. And I'm at his farm, and it's very awkward. And anyways, I'll tell you the story. But I was there. I didn't know if I was going to find anything else. See, just cheatgrass all through this. And cows will eat cheatgrass if it doesn't have a head on it. But you want to know what the worst part about this is? It's not so much that the cows really don't like eating it. It's that, look at this. Every one of these seeds is going to end up on my farm. Every one of them. And this is not something that you want on your farm. This is something that's very, very difficult to get rid of. So what do I do with it now? Do I throw it away, or do I use it to get through the winter? I don't know. But the point is that I ended up with this because I got in that mindset of, let me look for the guy that's a couple dollars cheaper. Now, some of them, and the ones that he took the picture with, have quite a bit of alfalfa in them. Even though it's not great quality alfalfa, it's alfalfa. And so he took a picture, like that, but then when you get there, 7 out of 10 bales look like this one. So at one point I just said, I'm good. I don't want any more. I had already given the guy the money. Actually, I gave it to his wife. He wasn't even there. And it was one of those situations where I was like, all right, am I going to pull back up to their house and ask for my money back? So I just decided I was just going to message the guy and say, let me come back when you do the next cutting and try to get something that's not so full of grass. Well, this is what I ended up with, is this stuff here, which it's quite a bit better quality, but it's a ton of stem and not so much leaves. So it's pretty poor quality still. And this is what you've seen on the trailer in the beginning of the video. And this was one of the listings where I used to just pass right by them because the price is too high, but you know, he has pictures that look amazing. And this guy, when I showed up at his farm, I was like, wow, this guy is doing stuff right. He had a really nice big barn. Everything was shaded from the sun. Everything was separated. Everything looked premium. I mean, he does these 10 bale bundles to where it's so easy to handle. Having that kind of contact in your contact book is going to be a good thing for you. So don't look past those more expensive listings. Go meet the person. All right, so let's recap. Number 1 was throw the protein tubs out. Number 2 was don't get insecure in these big hay prices and start looking for the cheap option, because it's not going to take you where you want to go. My third thing would be to, if you're looking for a protein supplement that can replace everything, if you're trying to do the grass-fed thing or if you're not trying to do the grass-fed thing, whatever, that can replace everything, this is it. And if you're thinking that you can't afford it, then that leads us into the challenge. So my challenge to you is, if you're buying those protein tubs and you're sold that that's the good way to go because somebody told you that they help with disease or whatever it is, it's all BS in my opinion. But if you're sold on the idea of those protein tubs, do me a favor this winter and keep track of that. Keep track of that nickel and diming that you're doing to yourself all winter long. Whether it be the protein tubs, sweet feed bags, grain, all that stuff. Write it all down. You have to anyways for your taxes. So this shouldn't be, it's not like I'm asking you to go outside of what you're doing anyways. But keep track of it and then look at that dollar amount just for your supplements. Look at that dollar amount and then ask yourself when you see that dollar amount, and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself whether or not you really would have spent more money by buying alfalfa. Now, the only advantage that you're getting out of buying those things in nickel and diamond all winter is that you get to spread it out, where if you're going to do this in the summertime, you have to go and put out that chunk of money right now. But I promise you that it will be cheaper to do it this way, and your cattle will thank you for it. So those are my tips, tricks, recommendations, considerations for you when it comes to your hay and your supplement feeding program on your farms this winter. Think it through. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to Dexter Ranch yet, please consider doing so. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.